Hey, good morning. It is 5. No, not even 5. Yeah, it is. It's 5:48. I'm looking at my tablet here, and I've been having some thoughts last night that I needed to get them separated and think straight because this is something that has been playing on my mind for quite a while. And right now, it's raining outside. My son just left for work, and I think he left for work, and I'm sitting here thinking about um, putting the pieces together because, I feel that I've dealt with so much lies and betrayals coming from, Lisa Hughes mainly and the people that I've worked with. Now, what I'm not comfortable with is in my last newsletter, I talked about how I left or I made a decision not to marry Bruce many years ago. Bruce is my son's father, my son's biological father. I also talked about my possible fear of Terry Collins and Rick Collins being a part of my professional life through the kids of 533, mainly because when I got pregnant with Bruce's child many years ago, I decided not to marry him and to live on my own. Okay, so what happened is that throughout the years, the kids of 533 would communicate with people that I knew, whether that be people I knew lightly or people that I may have had like a relationship with, whether that be friendship or platonic. So they've always been into controlling these sort of relationships, okay? Which is inappropriate, but very typical for these sort of like family dynamics that are rather dysfunctional. So what I'm getting at is like I had noticed in my last newsletter, I thought it was important for me to wrap up and say goodbye to the people that were a part of my life because it was time for me to move on. I was hoping that I would not receive any more kind of contact, any more kind of harassment, or I wanted that to be the end of it. Okay, and I know that I just recently dealt with some sort of weird bank transaction that went through Valley Strong Credit Union that I'm not comfortable with. Okay, that I do. No one's responded to me since the last communication. I think that I don't even remember what day that was. Okay, but it was. I never heard from Eric Arias, who I felt as though would be the perfect person to lay this opportunity on. Why? Because he worked for Valley Strong Credit Union, and most importantly, I recognized his name as a member of that Bakersfield City Council. So what's bothering me right now is the fact that I believe that even though I have made it very clear that number one, I was not comfortable with the harassment setups that were going on, that were established by Lisa Hughes, as well as the people like Alita, Mary Landucci, and I got tired of their bullying, which it makes sense, okay? I don't see or have that close of a relationship with people that I used to know for them to come in and say things to me that I think are inappropriate, either directly or through other people, especially when they create workplace issues, okay? So going back to this issue of me talking about, and it was really important that I got this off my chest last newsletter and move on, okay? But what I see now is that my son, because originally when my son moved in and I wasn't working, the agreement, he told me himself through his mouth, don't worry about anything, Mom. I got you. I'm going to pay the bills. Don't worry about it. I didn't like the arrangement, mind you, okay? But I kept thinking, okay, well, he's my son. Everything's fine, okay? So after this newsletter, all of a sudden, my son is like, well, I don't, he was fumbling with the phone bill. And he was, then I just recently tried to initiate a conversation with him last night about these upcoming bills I have, and it's nothing definite. Now, I understand that when it comes to me in Houston, I'm the kind of person, I know, I always want to make sure exactly what's coming in and what's going out, okay? And I'm somebody who thinks about this months ahead, and my son is not. He's the kind of person, he gets his paycheck and he deals with. And I'm not bashing him, it's not right or wrong. It's not a matter of right or wrong, okay? but it's the fact that these people have put me in a situation where I'm financially dependent on somebody, and I'm not comfortable with the fact that I'm somebody who needs answers. I am not the kind of person that wants to wait to the last minute. I cannot stand that because that creates more problems, right? Okay, so he doesn't seem like he wants to give me any clear answers, and I personally believe that this is done because of manipulation. And I'm saying that I believe that perhaps maybe Lisa Hughes, or perhaps Lisa Hughes through that girl that came over to my house, which who I did not feel comfortable, is somehow doing some sort of manipulation. Maybe manipulating my son in saying, well, he can't get all his funds unless, of course, he's compliant, whatever the case is, okay? But I find it very interesting that suddenly my son is being very concerned about money when he agreed to take care of my bills when he moved in here, okay? And why does this bother me? It bothers me because of last month's newsletter. I was making it very clear that I was, feeling pressed to the wall with Terry Collins coming around me. I didn't want to deal with Bruce Collins, especially since the whole issue with Sarah. I am now starting to talk more about Alita and Mary Landucci, and I understand how this whole network formulated. But I am not comfortable right now, and I do not feel safe. And I love my son, okay? But what these people are doing is causing tension between me and my son. They are causing tension between me and my son. Now, if these people are making it so that my son is withholding funds because I chose not to be a part of Lisa Hughes's life, and this is their form of trying to manipulate me, like manipulate me financially. Don't pay for Maria's, bills because she decided to walk away from the family, which I have every right to. Okay. And then I also feel as though maybe Bruce's family might be putting pressure on my son. And I'm telling you right now, these people are financially abusing me. This is what I'm saying. I'm being financially abused. I'm being prevented from finding work. They are manipulating my son's work. I do believe that my son might work under conditions that might be unfair. Why do I say this? Because I have a strong work ethic, and I do think that my son. I've never seen my son at work, but I know that I don't miss days at work. I do not miss days at work. I never do. Okay, and if I do, I'm somebody who makes sure that I make up for it. I've always been, because I'm somebody who knows all I have is myself, I make sure that I do not fumble anything. Okay, so my son goes to work every day, and he does not have a car, so he rides his bicycle. Like right now it's raining, so he does have like a special rain suit to get to work. He makes an effort to get to work, okay? And what bothers me is that I suspect that he is being abused because he can sit here and make an effort to go to his job. He can sit here and get his paycheck, but he's not having full range over what he's supposed to do with it. Okay? And see, this is what I'm saying is I see the abuse in this. I see abuse, okay? I'm also not comfortable with the fact that if this is the case, then I feel like I feel betrayed. Number one, by it's not so much I feel betrayed, because I already made it clear I don't want anything to do with Lisa. I don't want anything to do with the kids at 533. I don't want anything to do with Bruce Collins, okay? But it's the fact that these people would sit here and try to create manipulation, okay? They're manipulating me and my son, or because they don't want to pay for my bills because it doesn't benefit them. See, or it because I'm being punished because I chose not to be a part of Bruce's family, or I chose not to be a part of the kids of 533 when I have every right to. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I am my father's favorite child. Also, the story of the orphan chains and the burden babies, it does shed light and truth to this issue. Yeah, it does. Okay, what I feel angry about is that yes, these kids were burden babies, meaning like we were adopted, we were created under these special circumstances, and the church created us be set up in abusive situations. I am not somebody who is worthy of it. Okay, I'm tired of dealing with my sister Lisa manipulating things behind the scenes. And yes, I do believe she's manipulating things behind the scenes. Okay, the message I'm getting right now is something about whatever I want, I get. See, why I find this offensive and life threatening is the fact that I made it very clear I recognized her as not being my biological sister. I recognize myself as being adopted. Okay, so this is why I said goodbye in the last newsletter. Okay, there's nothing really to say other than I need to get back on track with my life and it's time to go. Okay, so my sister wanted to create more sort of hardships and sort of abusive situations by making it so that my son is not, coming, just outright handing over the money as he. I don't like to say he should because, like I said, I don't believe in relying on anybody. I'm somebody who chooses to be self-sufficient. I would never sit here and think, oh, I'm going to go ahead and put myself in a situation where I'm going to rely on somebody else, even my own son, right? Because, all throughout my life, I've always had to take care of myself. It seems like I've always had to work. I've never had anyone I can rely on. So the first person I think about when it comes to dealing with my problems is me. I don't sit here and think, oh, someone's going to bail me out. I never think that way. Never. Okay, so I sit here and I stress out at night. I stress out in the morning, noon, and night over this situation because number one, I don't want to be dependent on anyone else. Okay, I want to be able to work and live on my own. I never wanted my son to move in here in the first place. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I am concerned about my son. Okay, but it's the fact that he's a grown man, right? And I feel in this situation, with him withholding money and not telling me the truth, I feel abused by the situation. I'm not happy with it. I am not comfortable with my son not being able to be honest with what's going on, especially after what happened last month, making it very clear that I wanted nothing to do with this trauma of dealing with abusive employers, dealing with me, Bruce and his family somehow manipulating my employment, right? When he was supposed to be married to Sarah. Okay, and see, I feel as though Bruce was manipulating this just for his own selfish gain. Like, there's no reason for Bruce to be a part of my life at all. At all, okay? So it's like, well, if it's Terry Collins and Lisa Hughes and Alita, I'm sorry, Alita, all these people who are sitting here putting me in these situations and then telling my son, don't help Maria because blah, 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 blah. You have caused nothing but problems. You've caused nothing but problems. Okay, and like I said, I don't like asking my son for anything, okay? But I lost my car. I lost my credit, and I never asked my son to pay my credit cards or my car bill. Why? Because I felt like, okay, that's a burden. I knew that was a burden. It's a burden for me to sit here and expect my son to pay $400 something for my car, $200 something for my insurance. He needs to pay, on my credit card. I never asked him to do that. When I left BT Trucking, right? When I left BT Trucking, I had to get on unemployment for a while or something like that. And so then somehow or another, my son ended up moving in with me, which I was not happy about. Okay, I do not want my son living here. Okay, I love my son, but I don't want him living with me. He's 32 years old. Okay, number one, I'm very meticulous about how clean I keep my house. My house was spotless clean. Okay, Houston is not like that. He doesn't have a sense of cleanliness. Okay, I'm not trying to bash him. I'm just saying that this is true. Okay, so we are already two separate adults that need to be on our own. He never should have moved in with me. Okay, so now they're sitting here creating these rules. Oh, well, Houston can't pay for this, and the reason why he can't pay for it is because they want it to be so that I don't devote myself to my projects because I don't want them to be a part of it, and because they're not a part of it, they're trying to make it so that Houston doesn't pay for these sort of things, and that's wrong. Okay, so once again, I'm being financially abused by these people. Okay, and like I said, it's improper for Lisa to want Houston to take the side of the Collins when these Collins people were my abusers in the first place. So no, I'm not happy about this. Okay, so I went to bed last night thinking about this whole issue, and of course, I'm disturbed by it. I'm disturbed by it. Like, I want to talk to my son about it, but he's the kind of person, he already talks to Lisa about it. He feels like he's torn in the middle, okay? I feel abused. I feel abused, okay? I feel like, I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet. I want my son to find his own apartment. I don't want this going on anymore. I don't want people using my son as some sort of mediator to abuse me. And that's exactly what I get the intuitive message or feeling of. The message I'm getting right now is that everybody knows that I am holy and I should be respected. But I feel disrespected by what these people do. I feel disrespected by people, coming in here trying to tell me and my son how to operate our home. Okay, I feel disrespected by people like Eric Arias, who knew good and well that I was dealing with community harassment. Karen Go, who knows that I'm dealing with community harassment, turning a blind eye to it. They should have fixed it already. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that these people were trying to bully me because I dress nice. That's it. That's it. That's the only reason why city council was turning a blind eye, because apparently Karen Go must have some sort of collaboration or friendship with a leader. That's not an excuse to abuse somebody. That's not an excuse to do what you're doing. Okay? Not an excuse. And actually, you know what? I feel as though, what these people have done, I would myself would have preferred to move out of Bakersfield. That's what I wanted to do. Unfortunately, I can't do that. Okay. I don't know what's going on right now, but I am not happy with the situation of, these people doing what they've done to my son. I'm not happy with these people who've come into, contact with, what do you call it, Lisa, and Lisa manipulating things behind the scenes. You know what I mean? There is no reason for me to sit here and bow down to Terry Collins or Bruce Collins or any of these people. I am terrified by these people. I'm absolutely terrified of these people. And the fact that they would sit here and use my son to abuse me, especially when, by the looks of it, right? Just by looking at it. Okay, I don't know my son's boss or anything, and I'm trying to be, I'm trying to be cordial to my son's boss, okay? But for somebody who rides their bicycle to work and is not able to do what they want to with their money, it really doesn't seem worth it to me. It just doesn't. Okay? I am not happy dealing with, being in a situation where my life is so manipulated. And I feel, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. You know, I don't feel safe here anymore. I don't feel safe in my own home. Why do I feel this way? Because I want to know that I can trust my son. I want to know that I can trust my son, and I don't like him being, what do you call it, a puppet for Lisa Hughes. Okay, I am not comfortable with that girl that came over here a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. Okay, I don't feel comfortable with these people. Okay, these people have caused me nothing but problems. Nothing but problems. Okay, and I'm tired of dealing with it. As for Karen Go, look, I have the right to live my life. I don't want anything to do with you. Okay, I don't look at you as with any sort of respect. I don't look at you as somebody who even deserves to be in that position. Okay, and this goes for Eric Arias, and I don't know much about the other members of City Council, but the very fact that I'm still dealing with this tells me that you're worthless. Okay, it's like, I'm tired of people abusing my son. Okay, but at the same time, I don't feel comfortable with my son who is being a puppet for these people. That's just how it is. Okay, so somehow or another, I need to get on my 2 feet. And because I feel as though my son is nothing but a puppet for these people, I don't feel safe living with him anymore. Now, I love my son, but it's like, you know what? I am not going to be put in a situation where you have turned my son into a spy. You have turned my son into somebody that is psychologically and financially abusing me because you're telling him to do so. Okay, and I'm not okay with it. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is, yes, people recognize my anointing, which is powerful and considered to be true. And then also, me and my son are protected. But I don't feel protected under these circumstances because I feel as though my son needs to make a decision and stand up for himself. Okay, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't want to deal with Lisa Hughes. I don't want to deal with the Collins family. And you know what? It should be a no-brainer that I don't want to deal with these people. I made a concerted effort not to get in any sort of entanglements with Bruce, and his family when I was pregnant with Houston. I gave him his ring back. Okay. And the fact that my sister Lisa, okay, and then Rashawn and the other kids may have thought, well, she was pregnant by him, therefore they should get married. I didn't marry Bruce. Okay, my son is over the age of 18. These years have gone by. Houston is a grown man, and I want nothing to do with these people at all. At all. Okay, so now what my biggest issue is that I want to get back on my 2 feet. I do not want to rely on my son. I want my son to move out of this house, and my son should only see me on the weekends or when it's time to visit. Okay, I am also, like I said, I am not comfortable with my son being being manipulated by these people. Okay, and what these people did is they caused a lot of problems. Okay, I feel completely disrespected by these people normalizing this sort of behavior. Okay, my son is not going to be a spy for these people. And I told my son, hey, if people are asking about me, do not tell them anything. Okay, and I understand that this particular group, they claim to be, I hate how they cannot sit here and use religion as an excuse anymore. Okay, I don't want to hear it. Okay, all these people who are sitting here bringing up issues like religion, don't want to hear it. Okay, I'm spiritually aligned. I don't need people trying to tell me what to do. I'm more spiritual than anybody in this community. Okay, and that's not me bragging, but it's true. It's the truth. Okay, so what I am is I am a victim of human experimentation. Okay, kind of deviating from the original way that they created these burden babies through incubator. Then they decided to go ahead and put me through this process by having a human mother in my last incarnation. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so who manned all of this? I would say it was highly Nazi influenced, especially since we had Joseph Mengele at the helm of it. So these churches worked in operation to sit here and say these things, and it created me to be isolated. Okay, and then also it just attracted a lot of bullies, and that's all it did. So all these people who were sitting here coming at me, bullying me for all these years, were not doing it because they were doing it because of God. They were doing it out of mind control, and mainly because of Nazi mind control. So, and even including my siblings, who are not even Nazis. Okay, so I don't appreciate, number one, the mistreatment. Okay, and so I need to heal from that, which I feel as though I'm getting very close to doing. Okay, but I do not forgive these people. I don't forgive them. I know that they were under mind control, but there's something it should have stopped when that became clear to them. Okay, it's sick and it's twisted. Okay, I don't like Karen Doe. I don't like anybody on city council. I don't like the people who claim to be leaders. Why? Because when I say leaders within this particular Bakersfield group, I don't see where this community has any respect. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that yes, I do feel as though my son was a part of this, and he shouldn't have been a part of this. If anything, all I ever wanted for my son was for my son to be happy. I never got a chance to be the greatest mother to my son because I was too busy dealing with their bullying tactics here in the workplace. Okay, so what do these people do? They are basically trying to teach my son to disrespect me, and this is what I do not appreciate. This is why I'm saying that this community is corrupt. Period. Okay, I'm the one who raised my son. I'm the one who raised my son by myself. I never asked anybody for anything at all. Okay, so who ends up getting abused? I do, and I don't deserve it. So I need to talk to my I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm tired of dealing with the financial abuse. I don't, I feel as though Lisa Hughes coming into my life, especially after the last quarter newsletter, was completely inappropriate. She is not my sister. She should not have any sort of say in my life whatsoever. Whatsoever. If Lisa is my adoptive sister, so any sort of activity that she plays, any sort of role that she plays in my life would only be for the pure sake of manipulation. That's it. It's not like she's doing it out of the goodness of her heart, right? I'm not comfortable with my son, these people, the Collins family, orchestrating things with my son to try to financially abuse me. And that's what I feel. Okay, like don't help Maria out with these bills. Okay, or don't do this because if Maria does her newsletter, well, we're not owning it, so don't help her make it anymore. And I don't ask my son to help me make it, but you know what I'm saying is like, well, I need to be able to finish my projects. My projects are important. So my son is the only person who is working. So my son decides not to sit here and help me out because what? The Collins family or Lisa's family? Why is it I'm the one who supports my son? Okay, I'm the one who cared about my son. Why is it that these people should have that much jurisdiction over what my son does? I feel abused by my son. Why? Because he's complying with people that he should not be complying with. Okay? He's supporting people that he should not be supporting. Okay? Whether by manipulation or whatever, it's not acceptable to me. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that yes, Bakersfield Police Department got busted and I am destroying organized crime. So Lisa's a part of the organized crime syndicate. The Collins are a part of the organized crime syndicate. They're trying to make it so that my son does not provide assistance for me because they want to punish me for not wanting to be a part of them. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is something about me having strong ethics and that my ethics are making an impact. And then also they might have tried to block. Okay, another message I'm getting right now is that the Collins were trying to block my. See, this is silly. Block a union with Vladimir Putin. Now this is funny to me because like I said, Vladimir Putin is all the way over there. Okay, but what makes me sick to my stomach is that these people. Now let's just say, for example, Vladimir Putin lived here in this community, so where it was like a hop, skip, and jump. He can literally drive in his car, and he and I had this close proximity relationship, right? Okay, who is Bruce or Bruce's family to tell me after all of these years that I can't marry somebody or be with somebody else? Okay, Bruce is married to Sarah. Sarah is his wife. Okay, so now that makes absolutely. Of course, I don't want him. I don't want Bruce. I don't want anything to do with him. So I'm being punished. So they're asking Houston to punish me on behalf of them. Is that what it is? See, I want my son to understand what this whole thing is about and why it's causing me problems. Because he will not sit here and listen to me talking to him directly about it, and I find it frustrating. I find it frustrating because he feels like a sense of guilt, like, well, I'm getting nervous and I feel guilty and whatever. The fact of the matter is, it is as simple as it's that. It's like you either choose sides and stop choosing the side that did not support you in the first place. So he's being forced to support Lisa Hughes and her endeavor when I'm the one who's getting screwed over. That's not right. That's not right. Okay, because Lisa Hughes is the one who created all these problems in the first place. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I get something about my career. Okay, I'm tired of my career, having anything to do with these people. That's just like my point. The point is of me being a victim of human trafficking where they want to control my career. Okay, and this is something what I'm talking about, the manipulation. Okay, Bruce never did anything for my son. Okay, and I feel angry that my son is withholding money from me when I'm the one who made an effort to raise Houston, and then he's being brought in the middle of it. I'm beyond angry about it. I can't even sleep. I woke up. It's like what 5 something in the morning. It's 5 something in the morning because I'm thinking I am not comfortable with somebody who's living in my house who is keeping these sort of secrets. I'm not comfortable with it. Okay, I'm not comfortable with my son not being able to tell me what's going on. I feel as though it's a form of abuse. It is a form of financial abuse. Okay, because I should be able to go out and make my own money, and I'm being forced to rely on somebody who's not helping me. Okay, and that's wrong. And who is doing this? It comes from Lisa. It comes from the Collins. It comes from all of these people, and I'm tired of dealing with it. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I am more intelligent than the rest of the United States. When it comes to workplace things, I'm sure there's certain subjects that other people are smarter about, like, chemistry, certain things like that. But yeah, when it comes to business, I do. Okay. But right now, I am not comfortable with my situation. I'm not comfortable with it at all. okay? Because my son is abusing me, and it's almost like he's abusing me on behalf of the people who abused me, okay? And see, this is why I'm not comfortable with it. This is why I'm not comfortable with it. Bruce is an abuser, okay? Just by the fact that I did not, I mean, just by the fact that he should have not been a part of my life. And then he's sitting here trying to play head games with me. I personally, that bank transaction about the person asking about my phone bill not being paid, I'm concerned about that. Okay? And I'm not comfortable with this girl that came over a couple weeks ago. She reminds me a lot of Lisa. Okay, not just because she's overweight, it's her body, her body mannerisms. Okay, I don't want to be a part of this network. Okay, I don't want to be a part of this network. I do not want to be a part of this network. Okay, I do not want my son lying to me anymore. Okay, I don't want my son lying to me anymore. These people, how dare you create that kind of pressure and that kind of heartache between me and my son? How dare you do something like that? It's like, because you are so evil, you do not have any boundaries. Okay, if you understand, I understand what a family is, because I know that I did not have a good family structure. So I made sure I didn't want anything, any sort of dysfunction that my family displayed. I tried not to do it. Okay, I'm not saying I was the world's best parent. I could not be the best parent. Number one, a lot of times when Houston was little, I commuted. Okay, so there were times I'd come home late for work. I would do the best I did the best I could. Okay, but what these people are doing right now is an outright form of disrespect. I'm being disrespected. I'm being financially abused. Okay, I'm being financially abused by the very people, right, that I wanted to make sure my son had nothing to do with. See, and this is what I'm saying. The Collins, stay out of my life. Stay out of my life. Do not sit here and try to tell my son what to do with his money. Okay? His life is already set back. Okay? Lisa should have never had anything to do with my life. And then the very fact that I look at my son going to work every day, riding his bicycle, okay, in weather that is not always the best. Okay? So he gets his paycheck, and you're telling me that he can't do what he wants with his own paycheck? After doing all of that, this is why I'm saying the kids at 533, I don't know what Lisa did, but she needs to knock it off. Okay? I am tired of my son being abused. I'm tired of you causing these sort of heartaches and these kind of pain that goes on in this household. And yes, it is painful for me. It's painful for me to see my son support the people who abused me. That's wrong. Okay? My son should not be doing anything on behalf of the Collins family. Why? Because they're the ones that have abused me, and they continue to abuse me. My son should not be doing anything on behalf of Lisa Hughes, keeping her name secret, keeping the Collins name secret, keeping that other girl's name secret. Why sit here and keep them secret and protect them when I'm the one who's suffering? It's wrong. It is wrong. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that me and my son are divinely protected. Whatever I want, I get. So I understand that this was a orchestrated thing that these thoughtless people did. Okay, this is thoughtless. Okay, and it's also dangerous. Why? Because I'm at a point right now where I feel fear. I'm fearing my own son. I don't trust my own son. Okay, and you know what it feels like to not trust your own son? It feels pretty goddamn awful. Okay, so the message I'm getting right now is that yes, it's confirming that these people got together and constructed this stupid plan. Okay, and what you caused is division in my home. You caused tension in my home and heartache in my home that did not belong there. You were basically rewarding the people who abused me throughout my life. Why should my son make concessions for the Collins family or the Gordons, and for that matter, the kids of 533? That does not make any sense, okay? So you guys have orchestrated a plan to abuse me, and do not sit here and tell my son what he can and cannot do. And the intuitive message I'm getting is this was orchestrated primarily by these particular women, these bullying women the obese women that were causing me these problems, including Lisa Hughes. Okay? No more. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that my ethics of healing and morality is making a positive impact. Oh, I hope so. Okay, but I'm going to tell you right now, there will not be any more lying with my son. I don't want my son lying to me anymore. I don't want my son acting like, oh, I don't know. These people are in the wrong. Okay, I'm tired of, do not sit here and think it's okay to sit here and deprive me of things I'm supposed to have or things I'm supposed to do on behalf of the Collins family. And the message I'm getting right now is whatever you want, you get. See, what I'm saying is absolutely right. I am being financially abused by people who have no right, no business doing what they're doing. See, and of course I'm angry because this is Bruce Collins, right? Is abusing me when he had no right to. And then he's sitting here trying to prevent me from doing my projects only because he doesn't want my son to pay for my stuff because he's not directly benefiting from it. So he is manipulating me through my son. Okay, and my son, I don't even know what else to say. It's not acceptable. What my son is doing is not acceptable. Okay, it is actually heartbreaking that my son would do what he did. Okay, I don't know if my son really understands what he's doing, but it's not acceptable to me. Okay, how dare somebody expect me to be okay with Bruce coming into my life, dictating my life, when I made it clear that I did not want anything to do with him. And the message I'm getting right now, it has something to do with my father's apparition. You do not own my father's apparition. Me and my father are a pair. Okay? I never asked you to be a part of my life, Bruce Collins. Please remove yourself. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that my soul tribe is assisting with my work search. Well, whatever. You know what I mean? I don't even know what's going on right now. All I know is I want my work separated from you. I want my life separated from you. Do not sit here and try to use my son. You are psychologically abusing my son. That's exactly what you're doing. You're psychologically abusing my son and causing friction where it shouldn't be. Like in this issue, as being a burden baby, I was set up to, get harassed by these so-called Christian people. Okay, including every denomination. And I've accepted the fact most people are brainwashed, okay? But I deserve to have someone in my life. My son was the only person I had in my life, and you were determined, okay? You were determined to ruin that relationship. That means you're evil, okay? That means you're evil. My Gordon's occupation engineering as well as the Swan Song Manifesto are my productions, okay? Independent of the Collins family. You had no right to do what you did to my son. No right. You have no morals and no ethics. Stay out of my life. Stay out of my life. And I hope my son sees this video. I hope that he does. Okay, because he's not going to sit here and have this discussion in front of me. You have used, the Collins family has used manipulation to abuse me. Okay, so when my son was telling me that he wasn't paying my phone bill, that was meant to hurt me. The Collins wanted to hurt me through my son. Okay? You are evil. Stay out of my life. Stay out of my life. Okay? And do not sit here and cause this friction between me and my son. You're not doing my son any favors. My son rides his bike every day to work. Okay? For a job that's not allowing him to do what he needs to do with his money. See, that's bullshit. Okay? So I'm tired of dealing with it. And I'm so sorry that, my Mary Gordon made the mistake of thinking it was okay to have you guys a part of my life. See, to this very day, the Collins is still trying to abuse me. Stay out of my life. Okay, the message I'm getting right now is that I am no longer associated with the people of 533. I hope I'm no longer associated with you either. Okay, my son needs to help me out with these bills in this upcoming month, and because you want to make sure that I default on my bills, the bills that I need in order for me to continue my projects, and you're trying to make it so that my son doesn't. You are evil. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that people look at my household as abundant. I collect a lot of stuff that's not really worth anything. I collect junk. I paint things or whatever, but this is my home. Okay. When it comes to the Collins family, you are not welcome in my home. You are not welcome in my home. I do not accept you. Okay? Do not sit here. My son owes me thousands of dollars. Okay? When I worked at BT Trucking, When I worked at BT Trucking, I paid his rent. I paid sometimes his utilities and everything. And there were times where I would create invoices for him and send it to him, letting him know, hey, you know what? You need you to pay it back. Okay. And he didn't pay it all back. Okay. So now I'm in a situation where I need help. And they're basically acting like, well, we're not going to let you pay. No, that's bullshit. Okay. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for any Collins type of, what do you call it? Collins type agreements. Okay. I didn't want to get married to Bruce because I didn't want any sort of, what do you call it? Attachments. I didn't want any sort of agreements. I didn't want any family mergers. I didn't want any confusion. I didn't want any racism. I didn't want any people making any sort of jabs at me or anything, okay? I didn't marry you. And so what are you doing? Now that my son's grown, right? My son's working, probably a job that you assigned him, right? And now you're trying to manipulate him. Well, I need money to pay my bills, and I don't need him taking instructions from you. The Collins family is abusing me, and I'm tired of it. So now that I want my son to understand this, and he needs to make a decision. Okay, I do not expect you to sit here. I'm not asking my son to take sides, but at the same time, you need to know to do it right. I'm tired of dealing with this crap. Okay, yes, I need my son to pay my bills. I need to be able to stay afloat. Right now, I am drowning because of these people. And some people might say, oh, well, but Maria, you smoke marijuana. I'm going to tell you right now, I need marijuana to maintain my mood. Okay, right now, I am fucking feeling out of control right now because I don't have any sort of outlet. When I get frustrated, nobody wants to hear. Nobody has the time to hear my problems. Nobody wants to hear my problems. Houston will be like, oh yeah, okay, it's okay. It's not okay, Houston. It's not okay. Your family from your father's side is causing me problems. He is psychologically abusing me. He is financially abusing me. What are you going to do about it? Please stop complying with him. He's tearing us apart. I am your only mother, and I don't care what. I'm not trying to put guilt on my son. I would never do this, okay? But they don't love you by what they're doing is proving that they don't love you. They don't love you, okay? They do not love you. They would never ask you to do such a thing if they really cared about you, okay? I'm the only one who's ever cared about my son. This is the truth. This is the truth. The reason why I paid for his bills when he was working he was working at the time, but I paid his bills because I wanted him to have a better life than I did. Okay, I do not deserve to be disrespected in this sort of manner at all. Okay, so I hope that my son does see this video. I want this to be resolved. I am so emotionally upset that this issue is not resolved already. I've been trying to make it very clear since last newsletter. Okay, I want nothing to do with these people. And what happens? My son's like, oh, I can't pay this bill, or I'll get, no, I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay? I right now, my son owes me like $4,000, and I have not received it. And I'm not complaining about it. It's just the fact that it never got paid back, right? Right now, I'm out of a job, and I need help. And I'm tired of people playing a game with it. Okay, I don't care what happens to Bruce Collins, and there's no reason why I should. And the message I'm getting right now is something about Bruce Collins thinking that I'm beautiful or because I take care of myself. It has nothing to do with you, Bruce. It has nothing to do with anyone. It has everything to do with me. All I care about is trying to maintain my mood and what keeps me happy. And my clothes keep me happy. My arts and crafts keep me happy. My music collection keeps me happy. Nothing out in the outside world makes me happy. You know why? Because you guys destroyed my outside world. Okay? I don't have a social life. I can't even go work a job and just have a regular life like everybody else. All because of your stupidity. Okay? So and then you want to sit here and create more problems by causing division in me and my son. That's bullshit. Okay? And this morning, last night I went to bed feeling really upset because I'm disappointed in my son. I'm disappointed in my son. Why? Because, like I said, how dare you protect their name when I'm the one who was looking out for you? Okay? So, yeah, it is a moral issue. It is a very big moral issue. And, yeah, I'm hurt. Why? Because he's my son, and Bruce's family was manipulating my son and then trying to screw me. Right? And I wasn't,
saying that I want to take my projects and move on away from everybody, it makes sense to. Okay, so what you wanted to do is you wanted to retaliate. You wanted to retaliate by making it so that my phone bill would not get paid. Who's to say that this person who orchestrated this whole check fraud thing was not associated with Bruce? Okay, so when it comes to this investigation, you need to look at this a little bit more. I'm talking to my soul tribe because I don't trust these people. Okay, and if Bruce needs to go to jail, then throw his ass in jail too. I'm sick and damn tired of it. Every day that I'm not working, I sit here and I stress out. Every day or anytime something goes wrong, like with this bank issue, the credit union thing with the check thing, that threw me off. Okay, and since then my brain has been spiraling, thinking about what's going on, and I'm not happy with the answers that I get from my son. Why is my son not forthcoming when I request for him? Because he used to be like, okay, no problem. He would give him his bank card. I would take care of my bills or whatever. Something happened, and I want to know what happened. And I'm thinking about the last newsletter, right? What happened in the last newsletter? I thought I wrapped everything up. I came to understand this whole issue with Sarah. The Sarah issue, the Collins issue, the Gordon kids issue, and I wanted to say goodbye. So then they wanted to sit here and create one more issue by causing problem with me and my son, and I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. So kindly remove yourself. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that no sympathy for these women. Death and destruction is coming upon them. So some of these women, maybe these overweight women, may have joined in with this Bruce campaign. You guys are on the wrong side. Okay, you are on, when I'm saying the wrong side is, you should have never thought that this was okay. This was never okay to get involved in this battle. Okay, I know that I'm right. When I'm talking about this, I am 100% right. I have 100% reason to feel the way that I do. Okay, and a lot of this has something to do with the kids of 533. Okay, me and Bruce are not married. I will never marry Bruce. I don't want to have anything to do with Bruce. Okay, I don't want anything to do with my past. Okay, I was adopted. Okay, and I know that in the past Bruce abused me. This action right here just confirms it. The very fact that he would be willing to financially manipulate me through my own son to cause this sort of division and tension in my household, okay, proves that he's an abuser. He just proved it right there. Okay, so of course I don't want anything to do with these people. This is my last cry. Get out of my life and stay out of my life. Okay, the intuitive message I'm getting right now is that Houston will only be paid via direct deposit. That's fine, okay? In the meantime, I need to get back to work myself. The other message I'm getting is Houston's boss is dedicated to me in Houston. That's nice, okay? But did you know that Houston's father was manipulating his employment? Did you know that I'm being financially abused? That's exactly what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with financial abuse. It seems as though anytime I try to make a stance and say it's time for me to move on, okay, these people try to hang on to me in other ways by manipulating either my son's money or trying to manipulate my money or trying to manipulate my career. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Okay? The message I'm getting right now is I am a well-known accountant. I'm not really an accountant, but a bookkeeper. With over 25 years of experience, employers are now starting to recognize this. See, I was dealing with a lot of religious manipulation too, because there were people who they wanted to reduce me to being an office clerk, okay? Which I kept thinking, I felt as though that was a form of harassment right there, right? And the reasons was because I dress nice, okay? Clothes are a part. I'm not like this group, okay? And this is what I'm saying. I don't fit in with this particular group. I'm somebody who has my own beliefs, my own philosophy on life, which I have a right to. Okay, I have, I don't want to be associated with the people that I used to know, and I think it makes sense, especially dealing with everything that I've dealt with. Okay, so I'm tired of your vicious cycle of retaliation. What it was is I wanted to make it very clear. I wanted to make a clean break in my last newsletter. Okay. And then I feel as though you continue it on when I felt disturbed when my son said he wasn't going to pay my phone bill because I knew right then and there that these people were doing what they were doing. And I'm not happy with it. Okay, so anyway, and it's not, it's the fact that if my son owes me money, then he should pay it back. And if I, yeah, he does owe me money. He owes me over $4,000. Okay, when I paid his rent. And so, because he's my family member, it should be a no-brainer that if we need each other's help, we're supposed to support each other. The message I'm getting is that these people were trying to abuse me because they look at me as beautiful. That's wrong. Okay, so my son needs to make a decision as to what he wants to do. Okay, and what he needs to do. I'm letting him know that this is an expectation. I don't care what everyone else says. He and I are family members. Okay, and so I've let him borrow money in the past, and I expect him to pay it back. Okay, I know these people were sitting here trying to orchestrate some sort of abusive situation and trying to force and twist people's arm. I don't have any reason to sit here and bend over backwards for the Collins family. Okay, I don't have any reason to sit here and bend over backwards for the Gordon family. They're not my family. Okay, so once again, Lisa needs to get out of my life. All of these people need to get out of my life. Me and my son need to have a discussion. He's not going to discuss it with me, but he now knows my expectation. I am not going to sit here and deal with this sort of abuse. I'm being abused. What are you going to do about it? Okay, and I don't expect you to sit here and take the sides of somebody who didn't support you from the very beginning. Bruce didn't support you, and I'm not in any way trying to put. I don't believe in putting pressure on people, okay? But this is an obvious situation. This should be like a no-brainer. It should be a no-brainer that I would not want to be with the Collins family, and I don't. I don't want any more associations with the Collins family. I don't want any more people assuming that I'm going to be with the Collins family. I don't want anything to do with these people. Okay, I don't want anything to do with Bruce. I don't want to remember Bruce. I don't want to think about Bruce, talk about Bruce, any of these people at all. Okay, and I'm tired of people intertwining our stuff. Okay, I am so sorry that I have ever had anything to do with this network. I cannot tell you. It's like it just caused me so much problems, so much stress, so much depression. All because these people decided to associate with me that should not have associated with me. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that so many men are angry and ashamed to be seen with these women. I don't know all of these women, just the group that I talk about, and I know that they snowballed into another group of people. Okay, because they like to work in groups and get other members. Okay, but these people are all on the wrong track. Okay, I am not ever going to have anything to do with Bruce Collins. I don't care what kind of pressure you put on me. Okay? I don't care what you do. I don't want any sort of relationship with Bruce Collins. I don't want any sort of relationship with Lisa Hughes. Okay? I'm tired of people using my son to try to sit here and manipulate us. The very fact that they use this maneuver to manipulate. See, and I kept bringing it up in the last newsletter. That they show that they're abusive by their manipulative type behavior. So what do? The very thing that they do, the very next thing that they do is make sure that Houston tries to financially abuse me. And that's what they're trying to do. Oh, Houston, I need this. He knows I'm not working. He knows I'm not. My son knows good and well what happened over at Murray Family Farms. He knows exactly what happened over there. So I'm asking him. And so what I'm frustrated by is the fact that these people are nothing but liars. Okay, and they create all of these problems and all of these tensions, and I cannot get over the fact that they would actually think that this was okay after everything that happened. I don't know how I could not have made it more clear that I wanted nothing to do with my ex-family. I don't understand how somebody could not understand that. You're not related to me. Of course I'm terrified of you. If you're not my real family, then you're exploiting me. And I need to get away from you. It's as simple as that. So my son is making bad decisions. The intuitive message I'm getting right now is that I am the sole owner of my enterprise. Of course I am. I'm the sole but my enterprise isn't making any money. It's just I'm just showing my work. It's like a part of my portfolio. So it's not like it's making any money. It's just my portfolio. Like my newsletter is something that I can show people. I'm a creative writer, so people can look at that. They can also look at my videos, some of my instructional videos. Yes, I can make videos. That's like a portfolio. But I also do it for my own entertainment. I was hoping that my Gordon's occupational engineering could possibly morph into something bigger. That would be nice. Like if I actually did become like a number one creator of like what do you call it? Workplace education, that would be a great thing, right? But I'm angry and I'm depressed and I'm stressed out and I am not comfortable with what's going on in my household. Okay? I am not happy with my son not being able to talk to me about what I am not happy that my son is keeping other people's names private, okay, while I'm sitting here dealing with this sort of stress. Okay, it's not fair to expect these people to have their identity, you know, safe and secure while I'm the one who carries the burden of dealing with stress and anxiety. See, and because of this is why I'm saying when you put this into perspective, I expect my son to have more integrity. And yes, I do. So I understand this message about he might have some sort of connection with this girl that came over just recently, okay? I'm not comfortable with it and I do not accept it. I do not want this person coming around and being part of my life. The message I'm getting right now is she may have had an interest in the control of my creations. I would never want to have her in my life. I don't want you in my life. Okay. I don't want you to be any part of my life. So please get out of it. Okay. I'm sitting here trying to figure out how I can get my life back together. How am I going to get my life back together? I have to work. Okay. And I do not want anything to do with the Collins family. I don't want anything to do with the Gordon family. I just need to get on with my life. Okay. And once I do get on with my life, I want my son to move out on his own and get his own apartment. And I need my own apartment. And then I do also need to figure out how I'm going to get the hell out of Bakersfield. I cannot stay here anymore. I cannot deal with it anymore. Okay? Because you have crossed over the line. You have crossed over the line when you sat here and thought it was okay for my son to sit here and lie to me and pretend that, I'm not comfortable with it. Okay? And it breaks my heart that my son would do that after me struggling with all of these people. Okay? So, everything about this situation, I'm not happy with. I'm not comfortable with. I do not feel like this community is a place that I feel I would not raise. If I had a little kid, I would not raise him here. Okay? But I do know that I need to make some decisions because this is just not acceptable. So the message I'm getting right now is only you are wanted only I am looked upon as a good professional. People know that they can trust me. Yeah, they can. Because I know that, like, I don't know. I've known that I've worked with some pretty shady people. You know what I mean? And all I really want to do is I want to get on with my life. I want to get back to my work. I hope in the future my son will be able to find his own apartment. This is not, I feel devastated by what has happened. I'm devastated that my son should know in his heart that what he is doing is not acceptable. It's not acceptable, okay? Why? Because you are covering for the people who are abusing me. Period. Period, okay? And it hurts to know that you would do such a thing. I'm going to wrap up this video and I'll be back with another video sometime later.